Hello, welcome to another Eagle6 video. Guns are sent into Eagle6 for either repairs, upgrades or servicing. Today we're going to be upgrading this Toyko Marui next generation recoil shock M4A1 Socom. We've been asked to install these parts. They're either bought through us through the shop, or we don't mind if you guys buy them elsewhere and then send them to us. Either way, gets the gun sorted. We're going to be installing today an M100, the Prometheus air nozzle, the Prometheus spring guide, Prometheus 6mm bearings. Obviously when we install these 6mm bearings, because they're a tiny bit wider than the normal shell's holes, when you install these particular 6mm bearings you just want to sort of lightly rub around the hole, not the bearing, with the in the shell, just to slightly widen it, just to make it a smoother fit. You can press fit them, you know, it's a tight fit, but they will go in, so either way, so it's not a big deal. So we're going to be fitting the Prometheus high torque gears. These ones are the normal torque ratio. We're going to be fitting the Prometheus cylinder head, Prometheus piston head, and Prometheus hard piston. Obviously when you install any piston on any gun, you've got to make sure you check the AOE, angle of engagement, just to make sure that the pickup tooth is not at any sort of incorrect angle. It's just a standard practice when you're installing any new piston, just to make sure it's got good pickup and not going to break the back off. Right, what I'm going to do is do a pre-test of this gun, so we get a baseline for it. Because some guns are sent in broken, some guns are sent in perfectly good state, some guns, it's just good to get an idea of sort of what the gun's sort of working at. So I've installed, because it's a Socom, a Turnigy battery in here, and because it was had been rewired to Dean's, I've just made up a little adapter there going between the two, so otherwise it would have been a straight test, just like the customer. It's a split pack battery. I find them quite a good fit. Turnigy. It's 25 to 50C, 1800 milliamp hours, 7.4 volt. So you get a baseline there for the results that you're going to see. I find that they're quite a good fit, and obviously it's quite a high performance battery. When you're fitting this delta ring here, just make sure it doesn't twist left and right, and then you know it's not going to fall off while you're running around. So we're going to be testing with 0.2s. What we want to see here is just what the starting FPS is going to be, and what the rounds per second are going to be, and then we can obviously sort of see if there's you know, going to be a benefit from the particular mods that we've said we're going to be installing. We're using the X-Core-Tech chronograph because, well, the whole world seems to be using it. So, and to be honest, it's got some great features on there. I've set it up here for feet per second and rounds per second. So we've got here 312. So obviously it must have had some work done at it. That's the interesting thing. Guns come in, we have no idea about the history of them. So we can ask the customers. Sometimes they know, but sometimes, you know, they've just bought a gun off a forum and they're sending it in for servicing. You know, so. So yeah, so it's good to sort of see the baseline here. So obviously it should have been 280 as standard, you know, out of the box. So it must have had something done at some point. So it's going to be interesting to see what's in here at some point. I like how it counts the shots on this chronograph. switched over from the mad ball from previous videos. Yeah, so we've got a sort of consistent 312 there, so I'm just going to flick it to full auto and just see what results we get on the rounds per second. So that's 14.05. So I'm just going to zoom in on that. Okay, and lockout feature's working. So cool. So we've got a baseline. I'm going to now go install these parts, and yeah, I mean, just on the face of it, the gun seems to be working perfectly good. So just as the customer says, just wants a bit more power and a bit more, you know, longevity from the gun. So right, I'm going to go install the parts. See you soon. Hi there, so I'm back after fitting all the parts. I installed the Eagle6 M90 spring, the Prometheus normal torque gear set, the Prometheus 6mm ball bearings, the Prometheus piston head, the cylinder head and the nozzle. Obviously it was chronoing at about 3:14 from the previous video, so we're obviously going to hope for an increase here. So we can see here now it's now up to 338. It already had a mad ball barrel installed, type bore. I think there are 603s. So we can see how now from obviously the combination of the increase you get from the parts installed, like cylinder head, nozzle, piston head, you know, those kind of upgrade parts increase FPS. So they could have increased the FPS. Also obviously the Eagle6 spring. Typically that though on a standard gun is only going to get about 315 to 320. Obviously the mad ball barrel then adds 10, so 330. So you're probably getting maybe an extra 40. Oh, it's also got the bearing spring guide as well. That increases FPS too. So the Prometheus one. So yeah, so you can see how you get these sort of small increments from all the different parts and how they all sort of add up to get the FPS you need. Just do the quick rounds per second check as well. So it's 13.85, so it's a tiny bit down. Although it's normal torque gear set, the Prometheus ones, it's actually a tiny bit higher on the torque ratio than standard gear set. So you know, you'd expect it to go down a tiny bit. Then again, obviously it goes up through efficiency, so because obviously it's a faster working gear set, though it is now obviously having to pull a bit more power and also move slightly heavier parts, like obviously the Prometheus hard piston is much heavier than the TM piston, same as the piston head is much heavier than the TM thing. So yes, yeah, swings and roundabouts. So, but as you can see, the gun's working nicely. This is on the obviously the same fully charged battery that was using in the first part of the video, so to keep it all standard and the same. Maybe I should have filled some eggs up before I started, eh? there you go. As you can see, fully working, and I hope you enjoy it.